Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic Tuesday wherever we are around the world. And welcome back to yet another Liverpool news episode for you guys this evening. Of course, again, busy transfer show for you guys this evening. We do have a bit of news, of course, about certain particular players. Of course, we're going to talk in depth about, again, many players in tonight's episode. Of course, I know obviously the game is on as well, so I know plenty of people will be watching that, but still we are here to talk about Florian Wirtz. We're here to talk about, again, other players such as Milos Kerkez, Benjamin Sesko as well, even Luis Diaz as well, potentially going to Barcelona, and of course we will discuss Jeremy Frimpong, of course, as well. And we'll kickstart the show talking about Jeremy Frimpong as well anyway. But again, let me know how all of you are in the comment section down below. I'll be very intrigued to know your guys' thoughts down below as well. And yeah, just let me know overall your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below anyway. But again, we'll kickstart the show. Evening to Doug as well. Hopefully you are doing well, mate. Of course, we'll see you this weekend. Hopefully you are doing well. But yeah, of course, speaking about Jeremy Frimpong, I'm going to start the show off straight away. Of course, has completed his medical. It has now been confirmed that he has completed his medical and is set to sign all of the contract details within the next 24 hours. So whether or not Liverpool do announce it over the next couple of days, of course, will be telling. Maybe they might leave it until the end of the season completely for the Reds, but still, again, we know that the Jeremy Frimpong contract is done, the medical is done as well, which again is fantastic news. And again, once again, for 29 million pounds, it's an absolute ridiculous signing, isn't it, really? And I do think it will be one of the good ones for Liverpool. I think, again, Jeremy Frimpong offers a lot of variety on the right-hand side, considering, again, he can play a bit deeper. He can play as a right winger, realistically, can't he? So, again, it will offer Liverpool a lot more unpredictability, I do think, in terms of, again, attacking ability and just general play. I think Liverpool will be better off for it, of course, anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on the Jeremy Frimpong news, of course. But yes, all good, my friend. Looking forward to the weekend for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Happy retirement to Pepe Reina too. Yes, obviously the former Liverpool goalkeeper did retire today. I don't know where was he in his last club. I'm not too sure. But again, obviously phenomenal goalkeeper for Liverpool. Of course, obviously, I think everybody remembers Pepe Reina in, of course, the start of the bad era, in the purple kit. But of course, we always remember him for the orange, yellow Adidas goalkeeper kit. I thought that was iconic in the sense that, of course, Liverpool did go on to win the Champions League that year. Of course, it would have been even more iconic, really. But again, we'll talk about that in a different time in a different video, of course, anyway. But getting onto the transfer side of things, of course, we have to talk about Luis Diaz. Now, there's been a report suggesting that he could very well be on his way to Barcelona. Again, which, is the common link with Luis Diaz at the moment. You're linking him away from from Liverpool to go to Barcelona. But according to this report, it does go on to say, if I can quickly get it up for you guys, there we go. So it does say that Barcelona have been considering Luis Diaz as their number one target for a while now. They're doing their calculations, player eager to come as well. That's what that report says. Anyway, again, believe it if you want. I think one thing to take into consideration, because it does go on to also say in this obviously piece saying that Diaz is very excited to come to Barcelona. However, he doesn't want to go through the hassle and wants guarantees around his registration. Of course, obviously Barcelona have had a fair bit of problems in terms of getting these players registered. Look at Dani Olmo last year. What was it? I think the third league game of the season where Dani Olmo wasn't registered for Barcelona, which is pretty shocking, to be fair, when you do consider that, to be fair. But one thing that the reason why I don't think it's going to happen, and it's simply because of Rafinha. Now, Fabrizio Romano, again, however, you want to get from Fabrizio Romano, of course, he has confirmed that Barcelona have reached an agreement for Rafinha over a new deal, all done. The Brazilian will sign a contract until June 2028. One more important renewal for Barca with Deco's huge work in recent months. Flick signs new deal tomorrow, and then for time for Rafinha. So, with that being said, if they've just re-signed Rafinha to a brand new contract, why would they want Luis Diaz apart for that? Of course, we know Lucho has played as a centre forward, but they've got Ferran Torres, they've got Robert Lewandowski that can play there. Of course, obviously the rumours are going around that Barcelona want to potentially let go of Robert Lewandowski at some point to, of course, obviously the wages side of things. But I look at it and go, where would Luis Diaz fit at Barcelona if Rafinha is signing a new contract? Quite clearly this season, Rafinha has been a huge part of them winning, the La Liga and winning Copa del Rey as well. And realistically, there just isn't no room for him. Unless, of course, this is just to bolster his price, really. But I don't see that, really. Again, I think the general feeling around Rafinha at Barcelona is that he's very happy and he wants to stay at Barcelona. And again, why would he want to leave? But the Barcelona have been playing very attractive football this season. Again, winning La Liga, which is huge. And again, got to a Champions League semi-final where on another day, look, Barcelona could be in the Champions League final right now instead of Inter Milan. So I look at it and kind of go, well, for me, I don't personally see Lucho going. Of course, Liverpool have put a £70 million price tag on him as well. And let's be honest, do we see Luis Diaz leaving Liverpool in the summer? I think probably back, 2-3 months ago, there could have possibly been, a real possibility that he was going to leave. But now I look at it and go, I can't really see a world where he does end up leaving. Now, really, I think, of course, depending on, other things that will happen at Liverpool, potentially, again, could it be the case where do we end up seeing Lucho Diaz play as a backup 9 for Liverpool potentially? Again, we've seen over the last couple of months where Liverpool have used Lucho as a centre forward. We've not really used him as a left winger. But of course, we've used him at times, but it's not like we've been desperate. Keep playing Lucho Diaz on the left. We've been very comfortable in having the front three of Lucho, Cody, and of course Mo. And whether or not Barcelona might look at him as a centre forward, I'm not necessarily sure. Again, I prefer him as a winger, in my personal opinion. But again, I'd be very intrigued to see, if they was to go in for him, how that would work out, really. Unless it is to completely bolster, of course, Rafinha's contract, to be fair. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments, because again, I don't see him going anywhere at all, really. But big up Doug as well, saying Villarreal. Oh, he was at Villarreal, was he? Yo, can't pick up Ozan as well. Doug also saying evening Ozan. We're not beating Palace on Sunday. We could do, again, Palace will be on the bender, won't they? Because again, they very much will be on the hangover from winning the FA Cup. But yeah, no, again, who cares really? I said in the post match yesterday, for me, I've seen Arsenal fans today, and especially AFTV as well, coming up with that tweet about this is our ceiling and this is their ceiling. It's like, yeah, come back to us, lads, when you've lost the league title by getting 97 points. Come back to us when that happens, really, which I think is laughable, to be fair. But 60 to 70 million would have to prize Diaz away. But yeah, I would agree. I think 70 million, 60, 70 million, that is the top end, really. Of course, with Lucho's contract running down, because look, Lucho is going to be, 2 years left on his contract, really. At the moment, you would look at it and go, well, of course, that is probably the maximum Liverpool could get for him. But I do think we will end up keeping him for one more year, and then having to next year have that ultimatum of, well, what do you do with him? Do you sell him for £40 million? Do you get him to sign a new contract? Or do you even keep him for the full year and then let him go on a free? I don't think that's necessarily a a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing, letting people go down to their last years and then, kind of thinking about it, because again, Liverpool are kind of in that bracket at the minute with a lot of players. Again, Lucio Diaz is one. Ibu Kanate is another one that a lot of people are going to have conversations about over the next couple of months, because, of course, him running down his contract, or again, him in the final year of his contract, I should say. Once again, look, Liverpool need to make a decision, and that will be with Lucho and Ibu, for example, as well. But Tass as well saying, evening guys as well. They don't look like a hungover team tonight, Con, as well. Are they on TV? Palace. I'm watching the City Bournemouth game. I didn't know Palace were playing tonight. Diaz gets linked to Barcelona every season. Yeah, it's every transfer window. He gets linked to Barca. Unfortunately, Red Rebellion. It's going to be fun watch both teams pissed up trying to play football on Sunday. Yeah, that's pretty true. To be fair, I don't get, there's been a couple of people with a bad reaction from last time. Yeah, who cares? Really. The 3-1 up against Wolves. Fair play to them. It's going to be a goal fest at Anfield anyway on Sunday. To be fair, but look, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, but moving on then from Luis Diaz, let's talk then about Benjamin Sesko. Of course, there's been a bit of a breaking news today regarding Benjamin Sesko, and that has come from Dave O.C. Cobb, who again has been very reliable so far in this transfer window, saying exclusive: Benjamin Sesko is keen on a move to Liverpool, and talks took place as far back as last year. Liverpool is still in contact, and it's believed a €100 million fee can be rescued. There is a number of clubs interested, of course, with, again, I think obviously the names of like Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea as well as also the names that are being flown around at the present moment in time. And kind of, obviously, I know plenty of people are very invested in Benjamin Sesko, because, again, RB Leipzig striker who, again, has scored numerous amount of goals throughout the season. I think over the last 2 years, I think he's got 20 goals. Let me double check that, to be fair. But I look at it and go, again, another project striker. Is that necessarily what Liverpool need? I don't particularly think so. Even though, again, you look at the market, and it's not a great market, is it, really, for strikers? Again, looking at it now, again, this season in all competitions, in 45 games, he's got 21 goals, 6 assists. Last season, 42 games, 18 goals, 2 assists. So he is improving season upon season. But I kind of look, of course, if you play Football Manager, he is the guy to go and sign. But I don't know. I've not seen too much of him. I've not watched Leipzig games week in, week out. Whenever I have watched Leipzig games, he has impressed, in terms of goal scoring and in terms of, again, his link-up play with, again, like the likes of Xavi Simons, for example, as well. But, again, he does feel, again, a very project signing where, again, you're going to have to work around 3 or 4, 3 seasons, I think, to really get the best out of him. Obviously, him turning 24, but it's kind of the same with Ekitike, for example, where, I've said on past streams where you look at Ekitike, and of course he is a project signing, but you kind of get that feeling with Ekitike, if you get your cards right with him. Again, he could be like, for example, like what Alexander Isak was, who come from Real Sociedad, not really firing at Sociedad, has come to Newcastle and has completely become one of the best strikers in world football. And again, Liverpool have to get this right. Liverpool have to get the next forward right. And again, whether or not, if we do end up signing Florian Wirtz, will Liverpool then go for an out-and-out striker? Again, that'll be another question mark, or whether or not, Florian Wirtz is the, false nine that Liverpool might end up playing. But I kind of look at it and go, I think him, Ekitike, again, these names it's very risky, because, again, we've seen other teams, including ourselves, really, in this. We bought Nunes, and, Darwin Nunes hasn't worked, unfortunately. After, again, we saw him, absolutely have a blitz of a season for Benfica. You look at, somebody now like Victor Gyökeres, for example, again, he's beating all goal scoring records. And again, there's only really 2 club names that are involved with him, and it's Manchester United and Arsenal. Again, Liverpool's name's not really been drawn to that, really. And again, I still think we will get a name certainly in the striker, position where we haven't been linked yet. I do think there is potentially a name out there that Liverpool haven't been linked with yet, that the club within themselves are looking at them. Again, there's plenty of names in this area as well. But of course, I think for the money, people want a more established name. And again, if Liverpool, don't get Florian Wirtz, again, we've kind of showed our hands a little bit where, again, all the reports have said that, again, Liverpool have money to spend. Like, again, Liverpool, are willing to spend 150 million euros on Florian Wirtz. Why don't Liverpool try at least, especially if what happens on the weekend, if Newcastle don't get Champions League football, do Liverpool go and, test Newcastle's resolvement and go, right, well, we can bid 100+ million, and try and go, down that road potentially? I think Liverpool would. If we don't end up getting Florian Wirtz, I think this is the summer really where Liverpool are looking to buy world-class talent. Again, Florian Wirtz, he's not the finished article yet. He's nowhere near it. But again, what he currently is top class, and that is exciting. The fact that Liverpool are being a part of that name as well. And we'll get onto the Wirtz stuff later. But I do think, like, Liverpool can, like, if we wanted to, we could go and get whoever we wanted this summer. Because again, Liverpool are willing to spend this summer. They're willing to add to the squad and willing to add to a title-winning team, really. And I think that is what's most important. And again, is Sesko that guy? I don't think he is, personally. But again, if that valuation is of 100 million is true, I can't see him. I can't see him going anywhere, really. Because no club are going to spend 100 million euros on Benjamin Sesko, and again on Ekitike as well. I cannot see anyone spending that type of money on both of them. Look, both of them do have tremendous talent, and huge potentials, but we've been down this road. We've been down the potential road, and it hasn't worked out. And I think, of course, with Liverpool re-signing Virgil van Dijk, with re-signing Mohamed Salah, Liverpool want to win trophies and want to win league titles now. Again, it's not about building the team for the next 5 years. It's adding to this current team, where I think, like, even, we're going to mention him in a minute, but obviously Milos Kerkez and, Jeremy Frimpong, these are the names that Liverpool are looking to add now. They're going to add quality now and, of course, in the future. But again, with these additions, Liverpool can go on and win a league title next season as well. I think that's the most important thing as well, anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on Benjamin Sesko. Would you like him at Liverpool as well? To be fair, we'll get up FB Ref now and as well, and we'll take a quick look into him. But Saudi also want Diaz. I don't think we will sell him this summer. I agree. I don't think we will. Is 150 mil the real price for Wirtz? That's too extraordinary. 150 million euros, which is about 126 million pounds. But again, the problem is there's conflicting reports on that, because some people, as Red Rebellion has said, apparently it's 150 euros for Bayern and less for sides outside Germany, and that's the rumor that's going around, because nobody has really rejected that neither. Nobody has really come out and gone, no, that's not true. Like, even Liverpool journos, no one has come out and said that, oh, but that's wrong, or that's, incorrect, that, again, Bayer Leverkusen are going to sell him for cheaper for, Prem teams, for example. Obviously, we know Man City are out of the race, but of course, it's looking at it and going, if Liverpool can strike a deal, then I think 100% we will end up doing it. Let's be perfectly honest, really. But you could buy 2 or 3 solid players for that price. You could, or you could end up buying a superstar. That's the problem. And I also think the difference is this season, compared to other years, Liverpool are wanting to buy big. Excuse me, I've got hiccups. Liverpool are wanting to buy big now. They don't want to wait maybe 2 or 3 years, where we have done in the past, because let's be honest, the season where, hang on guys, let me quickly turn that off, otherwise it's going to come back on. The year that we won the league, Liverpool didn't add really anything to the squad. We bought a Thiago Alcantara, who again did add to the squad, but we knew Gini Wijnaldum was leaving. really, and he was bought to be a Gini Wijnaldum replacement. We bought Kostas Tsimikas, who again was a backup for Andy Robertson, and then we bought Diogo Jota, who again has added quality to the squad, but we kind of needed more. We needed, again, we've said it throughout the years that Liverpool needed to add maybe, an extra defender or needed an extra midfielder, in the middle and so on, and we didn't really do that. I think the difference is now we need to add quality to the team, where we do have a very, very good set of players, but we need to make it even more, make it even better than really. And again, how do you do that? You do it by signing world-class talent, really. Like your Wirtz, like your Frimpongs, like your Milos Kerkez as well. There's plenty to go around, of course. But so can't really not me to see much of Sesko. Can't really say yay or nay to Sesko as well. I'm in that boat as well. Again, looking at his data, he is. Who's just been sent off? Somebody's just been sent off for City. I think it's Kovacic. But again, like you can't really make comparisons really when you look at his data. It's very much drawn up to, again, I think like Rory Delap has also been in that part as well. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, but what else do we have? We do have some news about Florian Wirtz. Ooh, very interesting news. But big up Con as well. Big up Phil. I hope you're doing well, mate. We can only register 25 first-team players, so no way we will sign 3 players instead of Wirtz unless we let go of at least 2 midfielders. I think, as of right now, I think Endo will leave. I do think Endo will leave, unfortunately. You guys know how much I love Wataru Endo. But I think we could end up selling Elliott as well. I think his words after the game was very telling. I think it's the first time probably throughout the season where he's kind of been a bit mixed about his future. Again, he's been very honest and open, I think, throughout the season in saying he's a Liverpool player. He's he's very open to the idea of being here for a very long time. And then again, he's spoken yesterday, and it was kind of like, well, again, whatever's best for my career, I'll go on and do. And really, it was kind of like speaking about he was going to leave Liverpool, really. Which I know will conflict a lot of people, because again, loads of people love Harvey Elliott. Some people are a bit divided on him as well. For me, I can see the quality, but can also understand what people mean. Like yesterday, there was a few times yesterday I'm like, yeah, we could upgrade on Harvey Elliott, unfortunately. But like I look at it and go, of course, he's a Liverpool supporter. Again, you cannot judge his work ethic either. But I think Liverpool could upgrade on him, if I'm being perfectly honest, as well. But big up Martin as well, saying Diaz could bring in a large amount for Wirtz fee. Could do 100%. Endo, Elliott, Tsimikas, Trent, Gomez all go. Yeah, possibly. I do think Endo will leave. Elliott, possibly even also Trent leaving, of course. Joe Gomez is the only one on that list where I'm a bit mixed on him. I don't know whether or not we will see. Yes, the point is we need to sell players if we want to add more. Otherwise, we will have players we can't register or won't play. Absolutely. Arna's problem trusts 14 players. He will add a few to that. We're in unbelievable strong position. Yeah, absolutely. Listens a lot. Yeah, absolutely. The thing is that's the thing where he needs to know by the players that he will trust, really. And again, that's now in the summer. Of course, like look at it. Liverpool now need to go out and buy the players that Arne Slot wants to trust and what he thinks will come in and obviously do the work, really. Because at the end of the day, we've said it throughout the season, really, where maybe at times he should have rotated where maybe he didn't. And there's been a few other bits and pieces where you look at it and go, well, he's done the right thing. Of course, something we would end up doing. Of course, he's kind of gone away from it really. But again, it's an interesting thing to really think about for next season. Of course, I say next season, it's kind of this season already, isn't it? To be fair, but I am trying to find the bit of news that I wanted to share. Where is it? There it is. So we're going to move on anyway from Benjamin Sesko, and we're going to talk about Milos Kerkez. Of course, he is playing right now against Manchester City, which of course we do have a bit of news on that. But of course, the main important news is what Fabrizio Romano released yesterday. Of course, this is obviously the breaking news that he released. We was going to do a video on it yesterday, but of course, obviously, it was the game, so we wasn't really going to talk about that. But as it does say, but they understand Liverpool have contacted Bournemouth for Milos Kerkez, a deal with talks now advancing. Liverpool have also completing the agreement on personal terms with Kerkez keen on the move. Negotiations underway between club on transfer fee. Now, supposedly, that is the only sticking point of this deal with Milos Kerkez. There's rumours that Liverpool want to get Kerkez around £30 million. Again, Bournemouth are within their right to again ask for around £45 million. Because again, that is the going rate for fullbacks now. You look at, again, they can judge it from, again, deals like Cucurella, for example, who again moved from Brighton to Chelsea, and these are the type of transfer fees where you're going to have to pay now for top class fullbacks, which again, Milos Kerkez is that really, and he is that type of profile that, again, we've said it for the last 6 months really, that he is definitely a younger version of Andy Robertson, of how Liverpool used to play, how Liverpool played, in the heavy metal days of 1819, 1920. Again, Milos Kerkez is definitely the guy who just replicates, everything around Andy Robertson, really. And let's be perfectly honest, again, watching him for Bournemouth this season, he's been very, very impressive alongside again, Dean Huijsen, and again, it's another red card in that game as well. But I think one thing that's very, very interesting, of course, it's not just him that's going to, of course, it's not just Liverpool that's in the conversation. It's now, as of today, it's also Manchester City. Now, of course, it's taken from Anfield Sector, as it says, but there, Man City want Bournemouth £45 million rated left back Milos Kerkez, setting up a potential transfer battle with fellow suitors. Liverpool City have made inquiries and are now viewed as genuine rivals for his signature. Now, supposedly, Liverpool are miles ahead in terms of, again, in terms of negotiations on the player side, but it does look like, again, City have put their name really into that bracket as well. Cal, I've seen your comment. I'll get back to the comments in a minute. But again, I'll be very intrigued to see what happens really, with the Milos Kerkez thing. I'm hoping, again, the fact that Liverpool are being spoken about with £100+ million signing for Florian Wirtz. Again, I don't want now, £5-10 million to be the sticking point of Liverpool not getting Milos Kerkez. Really, because we know how Pep Guardiola, certainly in the game tonight, now we'll be looking at Milos Kerkez and going, yeah, that's the type of fullback I want at the football club. Which, of course, look, let's be honest, they have over the years spent £300+ million on fullbacks over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And I think that bit is quite hilarious, really, when you look at it and go, again, they want, they've got Gvardiol, they wanted that, inverted centre back, position, and so on as well. And I kind of look at it and go, well, now they want an actual fullback again. But I think for Liverpool, I think they'll be calm on the situation. I think for us, of course, it's just about getting, in terms of the pricing over the line, really. And I think, again, once we do that, I think the deal will be announced straight away. Really, there won't be no hold-ups, really, of course, because, again, Liverpool have waited so long because Bournemouth could have got European football, which, again, might have bumped up the price for Bournemouth as well. But, again, we've got one advantage in, of course, the Bournemouth deal as well, or the Bournemouth negotiation, and that's Richard Hughes as well, in my opinion, that does hold a very key thing in the negotiations, really, because once again, he got Milos Kerkez to Bournemouth, and kind of he already knows the situation there as well. But I think I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the week if we heard more positive news with Kerkez and Liverpool, really, because supposedly the only sticking point of the deal is the transfer fee, which again, if I'm Liverpool, I'd happily pay £40 million for Milos Kerkez, and I would, because okay, we got an absolute steal back 8+ years ago with Andy Robertson, but now again £40 million for a very decent left back who again is only 21 and can be your left back for the next 10+ years. Again, it's an absolute bargain price, really, because at the end of the day it will end up paying for itself over time, of course, as well. So again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments section down below, of course, as well. But let me go back up to the comments as well. But pick up Cal as well, saying Sesko hits the ball like a rocket. To be fair, don't mind that as well. No, he doesn't, to be fair. Salzburg produce plenty of players. Yes, they do. Again, normally it's again, the Red Bull, the Red Bull way has kind of been good for us. Like, again, obviously look at Mane. I was going to say Salah then. Mane. Keita, really, could you call that a success? Canate, again, Liverpool have had very good success through the Red Bull system, really, and again, hopefully that'll be a positive thing anyway. But a matchday Premier League squad can only name 20 players, 11 starters, 9 subs, plus only 5 subs can be made. No club sign as many first-team players as they want. Yeah, absolutely. Hope bloody City don't hijack the Kerkez deal. Well, that's the hope at the minute, really. But everyone will be predicting Liverpool to win the league. Well, if we end up getting Wirtz and a striker, yeah. Again, Liverpool would have addressed everything, really. Let's be honest. I love how often Arna mentions PSG lost throughout the season. Well, to be fair, I think we talk about how Liverpool are going to play next season. He very much got inspired by how PSG play, really, and I think that's the thing where I think that's where people look at it and go, well, how are Liverpool going to play with Frimpong and Kerkez? It'll be exactly how PSG play with Mendes, Nuno Mendes, and of course Hakimi. That's how I think Liverpool are going to play next season, and kind of dominate then, really, again, Europe. I think that's the aim next season. I think that's the improvement where I think Arne Slot wants to improve next season. Again, he wants to win the league title, but he also wants to advance in Europe a lot more as well, I would say, compared to this season where, again, we sadly got knocked out by maybe the winners of the Champions League as well. But the City news is just a load of waffle. No players want to go there. Wirtz turned them down, likely because of 115. No, Billy, no, you can't say that. No, Manchester City pulled out because the deal was too expensive. Yeah, absolute waffle. We could do the deal for 40 mil. Don't mess this up like we did with Lavia, trying to lowball them. Yeah, exactly. And then once City then have an agreement, be like, oh, but we wanted, we could offer like 50 million, and then it didn't. It worked out. Miss Douglas, who's that compared to Romano? It's Michael Douglas, again, very well respected reporter anyway. FSG bet to pay up as well, says Ozan. Kerkez will be announced after he has played his last game for Bournemouth, hopefully. Just like Frimpong was confirmed after his last match as well. Well, technically, it's not been confirmed yet, which is a bit of a scary thing, really. But yeah, it hasn't been confirmed yet. Anyway, but again, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, but again, like I said, maybe at the end of the week, we might hear something anyway. Big up Ian as well, saying, when do we look to replace / offer legitimate backup for Salah and Verge? well, I don't think this summer, for being honest. Again, the thing is, could you offer the both of them another contract? I don't think so. But again, depends on how football is in 2 years' time. You could end up signing Virgil van Dijk. How old will Virgil be then? Be 35 then, would he? 35, 36. Could Virgil go into a, kind of like a Thiago Silva type mode then for Liverpool? I kind of look at it and go maybe, but again, it'd be very, very close, wouldn't it? Really, I don't think necessarily Liverpool would do that then. Really, to be fair, but again, we could very well be, be interesting. Anyway, but Frimpong has passed his medical. The deal is done. Transfer can only be official, be made public once the window's open. True, but again, Liverpool can announce it beforehand as well. So nothing is signed yet. Anyway, of course, he has done the medical, like we mentioned earlier on. But again, supposedly he does sign. He does end up signing the contract tomorrow, I think it is. So again, all good, really. Anyway, but big up, bro, big up Jordan as well. Hopefully you are doing well, my friend. By the club as well, yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Doug's link. Please go and subscribe to Doug as well. Anyway, and yeah, just in general, I do think, of course, they'll be very interesting to see. Anyway, to be fair, but we do have some breaking news for. Hang on a minute. Let me see if that's actually correct. Has that been put from there? Yeah, there we go. So we do have some bit of breaking news. For Florian Wirtz. Now, as it does say, but Liverpool pushing for Wirtz. Now, Sport Build have just come out with a report. Of course, this is taken from Anfield Sector. As it does say, but Liverpool are serious about Florian Wirtz. The bosses around the football, boss Michael Edwards, are to fly to Boston this week. Reasons for the visit: the English want to get the figures for Wirtz transfer approved by the club's owners, FSG. So, what are we saying? I think, look, it's very encouraging, I would say, with all the news around Wirtz and everything suggesting that, again, Florian Wirtz could sign for Liverpool and, this, that, and the other. I look at it and go, it's a positive thing that Liverpool haven't been shot out of this race yet. And I think that's the big one, really. Because again, I'm looking at what Fabrizio Romano's had to say on the situation as well. As he says by here, the financial agreement between Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen for Florian Wirtz is not seen as a potential issue. Liverpool prepared to spend important money on Florian Wirtz's deal, and that, like, again, if there still wasn't any encouragement on this deal, Liverpool would be out of the race. And I do believe that. I don't think Liverpool would end up, having, or even the own Liverpool journals now reporting on, again, the encouragement, really. I just can't see us doing that because, again, why would Liverpool, maintain this, really? Of course, everybody expects him to go to Bayern Munich, and that's the real important thing. But I think even when Fabrizio Romano was mentioned, in terms of, from the conversations between Liverpool and Florian Wirtz, as it does say, but yeah, Florian Wirtz was quite open to listening to Liverpool project. Liverpool are prepared to pay important money, buy and maintain their confidence. Decision is definitely up to the player as well, which, again, it's all encouraging towards Liverpool because, of course, we know this already, that Bayer Leverkusen don't want to sell to Bayern Munich. They do not. We know this for a fact, that they definitely do not want to sell to them. They would much prefer him to go to the Premier League. We know this for a fact. And for me, the longer it goes on, I do think it's more positive for Liverpool than it is Bayern Munich, because, again, if he is so convinced by going to Bayern Munich and signing for them, then why is it not done yet? Why is it not already done and delivered thing. Of course, I could be saying all this, and tomorrow morning we could wake up and it's like, oh, Florian Wirtz agrees to join Bayern Munich. Fair enough. And you know what? I wouldn't be upset about it, really. Unlike, like a Saicedo or Lavia, where, again, Liverpool should have got this deal done. I'm actually happy the fact that Liverpool are trying to go for these types of deals, because, for me, this shows the club have ambition to go on and win a European Cup, go on and win a Premier League title again, and be in these conversations where, realistically, again, a couple of weeks ago, Liverpool were never in the conversation for Florian Wirtz, but I'm glad Liverpool are now starting to be in the conversations for it, and being in the talking point for the top class players. Again, I can definitely see Liverpool not signing a striker if we do end up signing Florian Wirtz, because you could easily play Luis Diaz in the 9 and play Florian Wirtz behind him. You could definitely play a double 10 where you could play Saicedo, not Saicedo, it's because I keep seeing Saicedo in the chat. You can definitely play Dominic Szoboszlai and Florian Wirtz together in a double 10, really. And again, there's multiple different ways Liverpool can play, if we ended up signing him. And then you could end up, probably waiting another 12 months then, really, for an out-and-out striker, where, again, maybe in 2 seasons' time, Liverpool end up playing Florian Wirtz in the 10, Dominic Szoboszlai a bit deeper along, could even be alongside Alex McAllister, could be, again, the replacement for Maka as well in the squad. Again, there's so many different options then for Liverpool if we was to get him. And of course, that's a really, really positive thing. As well, because even Lewis Steele, and I, talking about information and so on as well, Luke says, from Lewis Steele, Liverpool will do all they can to sign Florian Wirtz this summer. Of course, that was in a video that he did earlier on his own YouTube channel. Of course, where he does say, in his own words, he said, "I just have a sneaky feeling on this one. The noise is positive. Not to say a deal will be done, but no negative noise is definitely won't. But no negative noises is definitely won't." So again, in terms of no negative news a part of the deal as well, which again is great, really. But again, in that as well, he's also said that Florian Wirtz is tempted by the idea of playing for Liverpool, and Liverpool are going to push very hard to sign him, and the money is there. And again, that's the big one. The money is there. And look, I think as soon as he decides, if he decides Liverpool is the move for him, again, Liverpool will be all over it and get it done as soon as possible as well. Anyway, but let me know your guys' thoughts on Florian Wirtz as well. Do you think he'll sign? I think the longer it goes on, the more positive I would be on him signing for Liverpool. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Predictions for the Bilbao final tomorrow at Nikon. I'm going to go for Spurs 2, Manchester United 1. I think Spurs will win. Again, unbeaten against Manchester United in their last 4 games. But it is Spurs, and it is a European final. Not the European final, but it is a Europa League final. But yeah, I'm going Spurs tomorrow. I think Spurs will win. But of course, they do have injuries as well. But again, I do think it will be a good game. Of course, we might be a bit live earlier tomorrow if there is any news. Of course, it might be at 7 p.m. because I'd very much like to watch that game as well. But we are the ones in for Wirtz now as well. Yeah, absolutely we are. Us and Bayern as well, absolutely. Traveling to Boston to seek approval. Yeah, but by the sounds of it, in terms of that report by Christian Falk is, supposedly Liverpool, Michael Edwards is getting the approval for potentially for the money for the deal. So is that positive news for Liverpool? I think so. But again, actually, let me double check what was actually said in that report. Hang on, I'm going to chat. Where we buy. So yeah, as I said there, Liverpool serious about Florian Wirtz. The bosses around the football boss Michael Edwards are to fly to Boston this week. Reason for the visit is the English club want to get the figures for Wirtz transfer approved by the owners FSG. So if that's the case, again, Liverpool are just getting themselves prepared for if he turns around and says yes to Liverpool, then we'll straight away go in there with a bid anyway. Or submit paperwork. Could be. Imagine it's just random, like Florian Wirtz holding up a Liverpool shirt as well. Because, one thing I do think is interesting as well. Now, back in 2014, obviously Messi, Leo Messi, there was rumours of him potentially leaving Barcelona. Now, Bayern Munich at the time could offer 100 million. 100 million euros, which is what at that time it's probably like 70 million pounds, and they wanted Adidas to help buy Messi. That I think that was a known thing. Now, supposedly, obviously, because Bayern Munich are Adidas branded, obviously one of Adidas's top athletes is Florian Wirtz. So the rumors were going around, I think, this week, the fact that, again, Adidas might try and help Bayern Munich get the move down. Well, again, that was the rumor going around. But one thing to take into consideration as well, Liverpool are now a newly, a top club for Adidas as well. So that the kind of thought process is now gone, really, because, again, if Adidas is going to help Bayern Munich, why would they not help Liverpool? In that sense as well. So again, if it's true, then that's mad, to be fair, but it'll be very interesting to see what will happen. But we need to convince Wirtz to leave Germany. I think that is all that is left. Yeah, absolutely. We bid 100 million for Caicedo, so it's not that we wouldn't. Yeah, absolutely. We do they need to fly there, pick the phone up and say, show me the money. Again, yes to that, but also you never know where else they could be agreeing to. But reasonable price, I'd take him as well. I'd take him any price, really. I'm not gonna lie, Cameron. I absolutely would take him for 150 million pounds. Again, when we talk about marquee signing, like this is like the Florian Wirtz move is what Paul Pogba was for Manchester United, like the marquee signing. This is Liverpool making a statement, really, because again, this is the type of signing a champion would make. Again, City did it. City did it with Erling Haaland. City did it with Kevin De Bruyne. All right, Kevin De Bruyne wasn't the name he was when he first joined the football club, but again, everybody knew watching the Bundesliga how special Kevin De Bruyne was at the football club. And again, it's very, very similar as well, for sure. But it's all a bidding war at this stage as well. It's not necessarily a bidding war. It's more trying to convincing war, really, isn't it? It's trying to convince him to leave Germany and to leave Bayern Munich, or leave the thought of joining Bayern Munich. Because, of course, there is a real possibility as well where he stays at Bayer Leverkusen. But I think the general thought process is that he's going to leave. Unfortunate for them. Anyway, but felt good to see both Caicedo and Lavia applaud the squad onto the pitch at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, exactly. Well, again, their reaction to beating Liverpool, again, it was like if they just won the FA Cup or won the league themselves. It was quite laughable, really. But would rather keep Doak at the club instead of loaning him. I think we'll sell Ben Doak. I think, I'm not gonna lie, especially if clubs are willing to pay 25 to 30 million pounds. I think, again, I do think Liverpool are going to do that, really. But Carl says Wirtz or Simmons for me. I think if we sign Wirtz, we will keep Jota, sign a youngish striker, and there'll be more than experience going around. I think if we sign Wirtz, I don't think we sign a striker. I'm not going to lie. That's just a thought process in my mind, anyway. Maybe someone like Ekitike, possibly, as well. I think if that is going to be the case, like you say, Red Rebellion, I think it would either be Sesko or Ekitike. But for me, I'd rather Ekitike. But big up Justin was saying we must get a striker. I agree. I think we will. I think we should, but like I said, I think if we get Wirtz, I think it's probably then a question mark of do we end up buying a striker? But that's why it's better to keep Doak. I think he will be a good replacement in time as well. I think what Liverpool could end up doing is selling him now and having obviously buyback clause and other bits and pieces, because if he doesn't work out, then you look smart then really for selling him on. But again, if Liverpool want to eventually buy him back, then again I think that's perfectly fine then really. As Bournemouth have just made it 3-1 anyway, but yeah, it'd be interesting anyway. But Frimpong's passed his medical, the deal is done, transfer can only official be made in the public. Yeah, absolutely. There's not been many 100+ million signings. They are rare. The only one could be the one could be one of the best. Yeah, like certainly Premier League as well. It's a rare thing, obviously. Like you look in recent years, though, like obviously Chelsea, Caicedo, Bruno Fernandes, Enzo Fernandez, sorry, Jack Grealish as well is also another one. Declan Rice, of course. Liverpool are the only one really not to go into that market. Really, I know, other teams have done it, but again, when we talk about a big money signing, it's not like champions in the past have not done that. Again, City spending 100 million on Jack Grealish, that was the release clause for that type of deal. Again, Bayer Leverkusen being very honest and saying, look, our max price is 150 million euros. Again, whether or not that means, again, Liverpool go on to, have to go and spend that much amount of money, be telling really. But by the looks of it, Liverpool are not afraid to splash the cash on Florian Wirtz, and they see him as a top target to go and get. And I think once again, like if we do end up getting that deal done, I think it'd be an amazing signing for Liverpool Football Club moving forward. Anyway, but Gerson as well saying Frimpong, Kerkez, Wirtz, Shirky, Araujo and Sesko would be signings for the summer transfer window as well. I don't think we're going to sign all of them, but again, I love the optimism. It's starting to be more common as players' value have increased. Yeah, absolutely. The problem is, it's like even now the striker market, Sesko, Wirtz, Isaac, for example, as well, Alvarez. These players, all of them again quoted 100 million euros plus. There's no down from that really. You look at the market down, I think Victor Osimhen's one that is probably going to go for like 40-50 million pounds. Victor Gyökeres as well, I think be interesting where he goes. I think certainly tomorrow will determine where he does end up going. I think if United win the Europa League, I think Manchester United could end up getting him. I think if Tottenham win the Europa League, I think he'll go to Arsenal. I think it's really depending on Champions League football, really, because supposedly, obviously, again, Liam Delap as well has also spoken to Manchester United as well. So it could be interesting to see what does happen over the next couple of weeks and months, of course, in the league anyway. But we broke transfer record years ago with Virgil and Alisson. If the club sees the players worth it and that they will make moves, yeah, absolutely, and that's the big one. Again, I think I tweeted out about how Florian Wirtz could be the Van Dijk and Alisson of now, and it could absolutely be that as well. But quick thoughts on Joel Hato. Good player, but I just don't think he's Liverpool bound. I think Chelsea. I do think Chelsea might be the one to get him potentially, or it could be another Arsenal one. Really, is Caicedo worth around 70 mil or more than Gravenberch? Well, Caicedo, what was he, 110 million? Realistically, certainly in that summer, DMs were rare. I think Gravenberch is worth a lot more than 35 million pounds. Let's be honest. But are both of them worth around 70 million? Probably. Like, again, Caicedo. If Chelsea were to go right, we want to sell Caicedo, they would get their money back easily from Saudi or other teams or whatever. They'd easily get their money back, no problems. But if you're on about who would I pick? Oh yeah, no, it would be Gravenberch over Caicedo. I said it at the time where I think Caicedo is a brilliant DM. I do think he is, even though he is Chelsea bound. I do think he is amazing. But I think Gravenberch has an extra element to his game that even this season we've seen parts of it. We've not seen the full length yet. I think of what Ryan Gravenberch can add to this team. But yeah, I pick Gravenberch all day. Now, I'd say Grav is close to 100 million right now. Yeah, I would agree. Probably more as well, to be fair. Not over 100 mil, but close to it. I think he's around it, really. If Liverpool put a price tag on it, really, then who knows anyway. But look, I am going to leave it there for tonight, guys. A big thank you for everyone for tuning in to tonight's show. Like I said, tomorrow, if there is any news, or if there is any breaking news, obviously in the next hour, we'll be live for it, of course, anyway. Tomorrow, we might be live a bit earlier, around 7 p.m, because, again, like I said, Europa League final. I think everyone, of course, is going to be watching that. So we might be live a bit earlier throughout the day, if that is the case. If not, again, we'll be live throughout the day, obviously videos going live and so on as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on everything we've mentioned in tonight's video, of course. Let me know your guys on Florian Wirtz, Luis Diaz, Benjamin Sesko, Jeremy Frimpong, of course, again, other bits and pieces we've spoke about as well. I'll be very intrigued to know your guys' thoughts, of course, down in the comment section down below. And yeah, any bits or pieces of news, of course, we will be we will be live for it anyway. But big up Hero as well. I've not seen you in the chat. Have you been here the entire time? I've not seen you once. Anyway, so I do apologize for that. Did you just say we're not close to seeing Grav's hole? No, we haven't seen. If I did say that, I do apologize. But no, what I mean is we haven't seen Gravenberch's full potential yet. Again, I think we will see. Certainly in the next season or two, Gravenberch developing into an even better player, really. But just got home. There we go. So go watch the stream back. Hero, of course, as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. We're very intrigued, like I said, to know your guys' thoughts on everything. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. But until next time, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. We'll see you guys a bit later on. Ta-ra.